welcome back to Finally Revealed. In this episode, I want to talk about a few questions that I've had over the years from people who are constructing or having a house built or building a house. It comes in a variety of ways. And here are a couple of questions that people have that I thought you might be interested in, that you might also have these questions. The first one is a situation where either you are buying the whole property. Okay, the first one involves what type of paperwork. The first one involves what type of paperwork do you get to show that you own a house? The question was put to me in a situation where the people already owned the land and they had it as an investment for some time, and now they were going to have a house constructed on it that they were going to live in. And so they already owned the land, and it's a good question because people don't think about these kinds of things. But it also comes into play if you are acquiring a brand new house and you don't own any of it. So the answer is the same. When you receive title to real estate, unless there is an exception that's specifically set out, which would not be set out here, you get everything that comes on the land. So if you own the real estate and you are now paying someone to build a house on it for you, you simply pay them for the work. You already own the land, and the house is part of the land. It's incorporated into the land. And this is even such in the case in certain areas if you are putting a mobile home onto a basement. So check the rules where you live if you are in that type of a situation. Very good question. The next question is similar to the first one, which is a situation where, again, the people owned the real estate already, own a lot, and they came in and said, the builder, we want you to prepare a contract for us. The builder wants us to transfer the land over to him, and then he will transfer it all back to us when the house is constructed. No, don't do this. There's transferring land means you are selling it. So if the contractor wants to buy your property, then they would be paying you for the lot for you then to transfer to them. But this is not a good idea for several reasons. One, you own the property. Why would you be deeding it away? You are contracting with them to build a house on your property. You are not selling them your house. Don't fall for that. Number two, if you do that, they now own the property. So any disputes that you have, etc., you don't have any. So any disputes that you might have or other difficulties in the construction process, which no matter how great you are and how great the contractor is, there are going to be issues that you have to address. You don't want the added burden of having to get your property back. So don't do that. If you have difficulty dealing with someone in this type of a situation, then get counsel to help you, to just be the go-between and represent you in that situation. So no, you should not do that. The next question I've also had multiple times is when the homeowner comes in and says, the contractor, either they've already done this and they now are in a jam and need help, or they've had this question put to them and they don't know how to answer. They say, well, the contractor says that I need to go ahead and pay for these materials. In one situation, they were on the driveway and they were windows or lumber or something that was going to be incorporated into the house. Well, they said that they need me to go ahead because this was a big order or whatever the reason is. They want me to pay them for these materials. No. The construction part is on the contractor. This should be set out in your contract. I have another video on the main contract points and I am going to expand on this subject in future videos, so keep your eye out for those. But no, the contractor is building the house. The homeowner, the buyer, does not pay for any materials on the driveway. Case in point, one particular person did this. The next day they drove by to check on the progress of the house. Guess what? The big pile of materials in the driveway that they now had paid for were taken down the street and put on another piece of property, on another project, not on their house. You don't pay until it's on the house that you are having built. You don't pay in advance. You pay according to the contract terms and if and when the conditions for payment have been met. That brings me to the fourth question on this topic of when you are constructing a house and questions that have arisen, and that is when a subcontractor, or even the contractor, but the situations I had involved the subcontractor, says either you find out or they tell you that they cannot get materials because they have an outstanding bill with the material supplier. So they suggest, well, why don't we just go and pay for the materials and bring them on? First of all, you should have in your contract who does what, and penalties and things if they can't do it. If for some reason this is acceptable to you and you do want to do this, you must not just go and write a check to the supplier. You would need an agreement with them that you are paying it for your materials. So you would then go and buy the materials and have them delivered to be incorporated into the property. This then would be deducted with a percentage on top for profit and overhead from the contract amount. So it would call for a contract amendment to take this out so that you're not stuck paying for it twice. And you would do this as your own transaction. It's too risky. First of all, you would not just pay it on their account, because the creditor, the material supplier who's already got an outstanding balance, doesn't have to apply that money for new merchandise. They can apply it on the old balance. And then when the contractor, subcontractor goes to get the materials, you're going to have to pay for that again. So you've just voluntarily donated money to their account. So it either would have to be in your own name, or if there was a way that you could, so you would never just pay it for them, because it's just too problematic. So you just wouldn't pay it on their account or give it to them. It would be just like handing them money or handing the material supplier money. You would not do that. So the best answer is no, don't do it. If there's some exceptional circumstance that you would do it, then you would go make this purchase on your own. Now that they would say, well, I get the discount, I get it at cost, I get it wholesale, that money's going to be at risk, and you'd be at risk of paying for it again. So just something to think about. So I hope that these questions, they are questions that have been asked of me more than one time. So I thought they might be helpful to you. If you learned something, give me a thumbs up. Share it with anyone who may be about to or considering constructing a home or another type of building. Leave any comments about any situations or questions that you might have. You can also leave questions. You can also leave any questions on the YouTube channel. You can also leave questions on Facebook. I'm going to start rounding those up and doing videos on the questions that you pose to further the discussion on all these different areas. Subscribe to see the other videos. Check out the playlist, because if you are interested in this subject, there are other videos along this subject, and they are all organized by playlist. If you are a person in business, check out my other channel, which is thebigbrass.com and its website. Look for materials coming soon on FinelyRevealed's website, FinelyRevealed.com. I'm all done now, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.